let me know you're starting.
I'm starting.
Okay. All right. So last class we worked on nose and filling out cheekbones. This class I'm going to show you how to begin the eyes and placement of the ears. As I just said before, we're not worrying about fine tuning all these facial details right now. We're just kind of getting them on the face so that we can then move towards hollowing out. After your busts are hollowed out, then you'll kind of go back to your facial features, fine tune them, and get them exactly the way you want them. Okay, can you see her right there?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I need to go in here and do some more work on my cheeks and stuff, but eyes. All right, so eyes are on in here, step 18, right? So you want to think of your eyes as filling in these eye sockets. So I like to use my thumbs, and it's helpful to look at the shape of my brow bone. Everybody's brow bone, whoop, everybody's brow bone is a little bit different. Hold on one second. I gotta get it to stick to the board so you guys can see it. Okay. Obviously you guys are working on your bust, so you don't have to worry about what I'm doing right now. But I'm doing it without the bust part, without the neck and the shoulders, so
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little heavy. Okay. So I like to make the eye sockets deep, and I like to make them with my thumbs. Remember that the line of your eye is actually the halfway point of your face. So I can already tell that I'm gonna have to take some off my chin, that my chin is a little bit too long, but I'm not worried about that. So this line, that was the halfway point of your face. That's where your eyeballs and your eyelids and all that are going. So the line goes across the middle of your eyeball. So what I like to do, and according to the directions on step 18, is I like to make an eyeball that's gonna fill in the socket. So you wanna make sure the sockets are deep enough, right? Because your eyes are these deep holes in your head, right? And then you have an eyeball that gets placed into that socket. So it says make eyeballs that will fit between the vertical lines. So if you measured correctly, the brow bone, there were lines, vertical lines that came down this way. I don't have them measured out on here, but I will do them now. Right? So my lines kind of went like this, right? And obviously you are slipping and scoring when you're doing this. I'm not slipping and scoring for the demonstration for the purposes of saving time. But those of you watching the video and you guys listening, make sure at this point you're slipping and scoring anytime you attach stuff, because you are working on a bust that is leather hard. All right, so I'm gonna make an eyeball. Now, you don't want your eyeball to stick out past the face. So let me spin this around, right? If everyone can see there, right? And those of you over here, if you look at your own eyeball, it's set back behind the bridge of your nose. So be mindful of that. Look at your work from the profile. If your eyeball is sticking out past the bridge of your nose, you know that it's too big, okay? One of the things you can do is you can just cut off the back of the eyeball so it's round in the front but flat in the back, and that allows you to sink it further in. Or you can simply make the eye socket deeper and slip and score it in there, making sure you're not trapping air behind it. All right, so you're gonna put the eyeball in, centering it using the vertical lines that you drew. All right, I like to blend it in. It should fill in the socket for the most part. If you end up with clay, little gaps that you're afraid are gonna turn into air pockets, you can fill them in. I'm just gonna show you one eye and one ear. Okay, now I'm looking and I can see that my eye is set back. The front of my eyeball is coming out behind where the bridge of my nose is, so I know I'm good, all right? You put your eyes in, and now you work on eyelids, and you have to look at yourself. Everybody's eyelids are shaped differently. Some people's eyelids droop more down, some are more up, some are more straight across. Some people have wider eyelids. Some people have narrower eyelids. Look at your eyes. Your eyelids are what shape your eyes. All right, so I like to take a coil of clay. Again, you'd be slipping and scoring this. I take a coil of clay like this. I kind of flatten it. And I place it, making sure I still have a defined brow bone. I place my upper lid here. looking at the shape of my eye. And then typically what I do for the eyelids is I use a burnishing tool to blend the upper part of the eyelid in towards the brow bone. But I don't really blend the bottom of the lid. Can you guys see that I'm leaving this here? Because I want to make it look like it's an eyelid going over the eyeball. And if I blended it in too much, it would just get blended in with the eyeball and it wouldn't look like an eyelid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Always using my loop tool when I need to subtract clay. I definitely know that I need to take some clay away here. So as you're working on your eyes, if you need to make adjustments with your cheeks, by all means do that. Now I'm going to do the bottom lid. Okay, bottom lid, also a coil. Again, using it to shape your eyes. So I have what they call almond shaped eyes, right? So if you took an almond and turned it on its side, that's the shape of the eyes I have. Everybody's eyes are different, right? Like I said, some of your lids may come down, may come up. Use it to shape your eye. This is part of the way you're going to define your bust in a way that actually captures your likeness. A little bit less clay than the upper lid. And same thing again. I'm blending the bottom of the lid down and into the bridge of my nose there, but I'm not doing too much blending here because I want to make sure that it looks like an actual eyelid. Everybody get that? All right. And I wouldn't fuss with it too much. Also, do not carve in your pupil or your iris, right? Because that's flat. Your eyes are going to look blank like this the whole time you're sculpting your bust. Now, I know some of you might be putting symbolic imagery in there. That's fine. But if you're going to paint an iris and a pupil, that comes later when you paint it, not now when you're sculpting. So it's going to look kind of like a vacant stare. All right? You don't have to add any more detail to the eye. I'm going to skip on to the ears because I want to work in this upper part. So the ears I'm going to skip ahead to step 22. All right. Skip 22 says add ears to the side of your head. The top of the ear should line up with the eyebrow line. So here's my eyebrow line. All right. And the bottom of the ears with the bottom of the nose. Right. So I'm drawing lines for myself on the side of my head so I know what section my ears are. This will vary slightly from person to person. Carve the shape of the inner ear and then I'll show you. Okay, this is where looking in the mirror really helps. What I find is students when they place ears on their bust, put them way too close to their cheeks. Your ears don't start here, you guys. They start all the way back, and one of the ways you can help yourself figure out where your ears go is you take your jawline and you go up. Right? See where my finger is? It lines up with my jawline. My ear is behind that. All right, now I don't have a neck built on here because I'm not doing a full bust. But I know that my ear is going to go pretty far back here. All right? So again, looking in the mirror, I'm just getting a basic ear shape. I'm not worried about ear detail right now. I can add that later on. Can you see? This is what I see a lot of students do. They put their ear right there.
Wrong.
Wrong, right. It's got to go much further back. And I also find that students tend to make their ears smaller than they are. I know some of us have small ears, but ears are generally bigger than you imagine them in your head, right? I'm not worrying about the detail of my ear right now. I'm just trying to get the general shape of my ear and get the placement correct. And then later on, after my bust is hollowed out, I would go in, making sure my ear is going to be fused on from the back as well as the front. And even that looks too close to my cheek. My ear would probably have to go much further back. But you see the placement in terms of the eyebrow bone to the lower nose? That's where my ears go, okay? And you can kind of fuse that on and, you know, just do like a basic indentation to make the inner part of the ear, but you don't have to fuss with details right now. All right? Any questions? Okay, that's eyes and ears. We'll circle back to lips and chin next class. All right?